Retirement Lifestyle Show is back with another great episode. I'm your co-host, Adrian Nicholson, and I want to thank you all for joining today. If you haven't already, like and subscribe this video, go to YouTube. The topic I have today is 4 areas to achieve personal success. So whether it's a goal, something you're trying to achieve, I have 4 subcategories that I'm going to talk about today that I think are very valuable to you, the listener and viewer, that can help you with whatever you're going through, trying to accomplish a goal, trying to achieve something, and just overall some positive content here that I think will be helpful. So we're definitely going to go into a lot of different areas today, but I have 4 main ones that I want to go through. And I want to talk about these 4 different areas on how they work together, just to really signify how these 4 areas work together to help you trying to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do in your personal life. So I'm going to start out with number 1, which is wealth management. And the reason why wealth management is the first one I want to start off with is because right now and today, if you look at a lot of surveys and stats online, you can see that overall, a lot of people have low financial confidence. And that's something that I wanted to talk a little bit more about today and really hone in on why wealth management, especially comprehensive wealth management, is crucial, because again, that can lead to better financial confidence for people, which again, I mentioned is very low in today's society, which we need to get that back up. So again, what I mean by comprehensive wealth management is holistic planning. This is looking at all areas of your personal financial life, your assets, your liability, insurance, estate planning, your investments. All these areas come together, and you have to look at it and use that term I said, holistic planning. Focus on all the important areas that come to your personal finance, wealth management, and make sure you keep all these areas up to date. Try to grow it as much as possible, seeing how you can be efficient, what strategies that are out there that can help you boost your personal financial life, ultimately leading to more financial confidence. And financial confidence is super important because having a solid plan will help you feel like you're more in control of your finances, more prepared for your future, and help you make better decision makings when it comes to any financial decisions that you have to make in your future. So this is the first one that I want to start out with that I think is an important key for you to achieve success, achieve your goals, have a more fulfilling future. And again, that's wealth management with a focus on holistic planning or comprehensive wealth management. So that's the first one. I have 3 more that I'm going to go into today. But while I go into these 3, I just really want you just to think, the listener and viewer today, and just rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 on where you're at. 10 being perfect, you're great, you're excelling in this area, or 1 where you need a lot more work or you need to focus a lot more on this area. And again, these 4 areas, these topics that I'm going to go over today, they're all very important, and they really come together to get to what I'm trying to tell you is very important: achieving your goals, achieving anything that you want to accomplish. So I'm going to move on to the second subtopic in the area for this podcast today, and that's going to be network and relationships. So a common quote, or what you will hear about networking or your relationships in your life, is your network is your net worth. And what this means is the people you surround yourself with, whether they're family, friends, colleagues, the people you work with, that group or that circle that you have of the people that you interact with every day can have an effect on what your net worth is or what your financial life looks like today and in the future. But ultimately, your network and your relationship is very valuable and very important, and has an influence on what you're trying to achieve and how you're going to have success in your future. And one thing that I think is very important with this area, especially when it comes to the relationship aspect of it, is the focus on quality relationships over quantity. And we discussed before on a previous podcast about a Harvard study that shows that people can only really have somewhere between 50 and 100 quality relationships. And when it comes when you get higher to that number and start maxing up, it's really hard for you to, so to speak, keep track of those relationships and keep those quality relationships and to maintain those over time. So having strong, meaningful relationships does sometimes matter more than just a long list of people that are in your life. So I think that's something too that's important to this area when it comes to your journey of personal success. Another area that I wanted to talk about too within the network and relationships area is a strong support system. A strong support system is essential in people's personal life. You always want to surround yourself with people who uplift you, guide you, and just overall have a positive impact on your life. That is very crucial, and that's something too that you, the viewer and listener, need to think about and just monitor on an everyday basis. You could also look to build a trust team. And I think this is just a group of professionals, especially over time, as your life becomes more complex, as you have to make more bigger decisions in your life. You do have to trust other people or other teams of professionals to help you out, whether they're financial advisors, legal experts, doctors, counselors, coaches, just people that can help you navigate important decisions, transitions that you're going on in your life, or anything else, because again, that has a very big impact not only in your personal life, but where you're trying to overall be in the future. So I just discussed two of the important parts of achieving personal success in your goals. So I want to take a pause here, and this is kind of the bonus part of the episode because I want to tie some things together, what I just talked about. So the two areas that I talked about are wealth management and network and relationships. And what I really want to do is tie these two together just to show how all these pieces really work together and that you really need to focus on all of them to try and accomplish what you want in your life, whether it's a goal, whether it's something that you aspire to be, or just overall trying to have that fulfillment in your life. So you can think of wealth management and network as a relationship as a line graph. So what I mean by that is, let's just take the up and down part of the graph, and we'll call that the wealth management section that leads to financial confidence. And what I mean by that is, when I talked about on the beginning of the episode, rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's just say you would rank your wealth management, your financial confidence at an 8. So you'll move all the way up in the graph. But what you want to do is then move across the graph to the right of the graph. And what I mean by that is, in the top right-hand corner, what you have there is success, achievement, happiness, whatever positive connotation you want. But ultimately, to move across the graph, you have to rank your networks and relationships, the quality relationships you have, not just quantity, although that's also can be an important factor, but you have to rank that. And the higher you are with your wealth management and your financial confidence, and the farther across you go with positive relationships, quality relationships, you can start seeing those achievements and accomplishments and those goals that you want to achieve. So again, it sounds very technical right now, but this is kind of the formula I want to talk about. Maybe dive deeper into a future episode where you want to move all the way up with your wealth management, your financial confidence, and then move all the way across with your network and your relationships, where you just don't want to focus on one area, where just grow your wealth as much as possible and neglect the relationships in your life. So now that we just had the halfway point, and I talked about how wealth management and network and relationships really come together to help you achieve your goals, I'm going to move on to the third area, which I think is important, which is your health. And when I talk about your health, I'm not just talking about eating well, exercising, getting enough rest, and managing the stresses in your life, more the physical, tangible parts of your health, but also your mental health, which is also extremely crucial. You know, it affects how we think, how we feel, how we make decisions, our emotions. So not only prioritizing your physical health, but also focusing on that mental health aspect of your life as well, and making sure that you have a good balance, because again, that is crucial when it comes to trying to achieve a goal or success in the future, overall looking at that health aspect in your life, physical and mental. So the last area I want to talk about is lifestyle. And this is crucial, whether it's your everyday life, whether it's a consistent routine that you have. One of the things I always talk about on this podcast is always make sure that you spend your time, your resources to always create a lifestyle you truly want that goes along with what you enjoy and your values in your life. You want to maximize that as much as possible. And if that's not the case, work towards that as best you can. And the last thing I want to touch on in this lifestyle area, on this topic, is making sure that you diversify whatever you do, whether it's hobbies, activities. I know we all have certain hobbies and activities, one specifically that comes to mind, and we just always enjoy it and love doing it. But always try new things, always diversify it, because if you find out later in the future that you want to do something else, or you're not enjoying it as much, or you can't do it as much as you could, it's always good to have not sort of like a backup plan, but to diversify your hobbies and activities and maybe find new areas and new interests and always learn, because that also has a positive impact on that third category, that third area that I talked about, your health. And this is where I'm going to lead on to what I talked about previously, how your health and your lifestyle too are things that can be connected to, again, lead to personal success and achievements over time. And again, I'm going to use that line graph example where your health is the up and down line of the graph and your lifestyle is left to right of the graph. Where if you said right now, I'm in a good physical health, my mental health is good, I'm all the way up on this graph. But again, the lifestyle is how you move across to get to that success, achievement, and that fulfillment that we ultimately want to have in our life. And that's the thing where these things become connected, where you just can't really solely focus on one. You got to focus on the 4 areas that I'm talking about today that are key to achieve success in future in life: wealth management, your networking relationships, your health, and your lifestyle. And I know it could be a lot all at once, but you got to do what you can day in and day out to make sure you're not neglecting one of these areas or they're falling behind on your list, because again, these are great areas that can boost a positive and fulfilling life. So listeners and viewers, I really appreciate you listening to this episode today. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, please like, subscribe. We'll be back with another great episode. I hope you gain a lot of valuable information. We always appreciate your support on Retirement Lifestyle Show. Keep control and achieve your goals, and we'll be back with another great episode.
Schedule a conversation with Roshan, Adrian, or Eric today at retirementlifestyleshow.com. Roshan and Eric are certified financial planner practitioners. They, along with Adrian, are investment advisor representatives and serve clients across the U.S. with financial planning and investment advice through Arete Wealth. If you found this show helpful, gained knowledge, or enjoyed the time you spent with us, tell your friends and leave us a 5-star review. This will help others discover the show. To access our show notes, to download any of the tools mentioned in today's podcast, to ask us a question, or to schedule a conversation, go to retirementlifestyleshow.com. All opinions expressed by podcast hosts and guests are solely their own. While based on information they believe is reliable, neither Arete Wealth nor its affiliates warrants its completeness or accuracy, nor do their opinions reflect the opinion of Arete Wealth. This podcast is for general informational purposes only and should not be regarded as specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Before making any decisions, consult a professional. The show hosts offer investment advice through Arete Wealth Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor, and securities through Arete Wealth Management, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, and NFA. Finally, our music is The Chance by Jason Shaw and Audionautics. It's part of the YouTube audio library, and it's licensed under a Creative Commons license. I am Ray Voices. Thank you for listening.